We're gonna speed run the smoke, Brad, because we're gonna cover who's out because the transfer portal is officially closed. No player can leave this team anymore unless unless I think there's a coaching change or there's like you drop out or the transfer portal is closed. And the extended period for the teams who played in the college football playoff, the final, that's closed. And so the 2026, the guys who are in the room right now are in the room. Now they can still add to the room, right? This is something that I learned when the transfer portal closed is guys can still commit and they can commit whenever. So I not only am I not ruling out that they're going to add to this team, but I think it's inevitable that they add. I don't know what the official scholarship count is, but we're going to get up to that limit. So I'm not ready to call the roster done by any means, but we're going to get into who's out, who's in, say goodbye to the seniors, say goodbye to the guys transferring, say hello to the guys coming in, to the freshmen, all that good stuff.
We could do a whole episode on just senior goodbyes.
The original title of this episode was Who's Out, and then you were like, let's do Who's In tonight too, and I was like, okay, if you're down for that, let's do it.
We'll see if we can fit it in.
Who's out, who's in?
We're gonna give true, because if we're gonna go over every senior that left, then okay, maybe we're only doing Who's Out today, and we'll do Who's In next week. Anyways, we'll adjust.
We're going to speed run the smoke. I put Bones Jones basketball highlights on the timeline this week, Brad. Did you see him?
No, I did not. Are you serious?
Yeah, I got to go back and give – I really should have gave credit to the person who actually posted them. I just did the Twitter thing where you long press and then post the video. And for whatever reason, if you go online to x.com or whatever and go to Twitter and scroll through, it shows you who posted the original video, but on mobile it doesn't do that anymore. So
is his highlights him? Is he pulling up jump shot guy, or is he
it's three different? It's like a reverse layup and it's 2 threes. I think I
just picture him just getting every fucking rebound and getting an easy putback every single.
He just looks like a young Isaiah Jones.
Walking 2010 in high school, that Isaiah Jones.
Josh Pate, Sarah McLaughlin clowned himself, which again, if you're going to be as vocal as somebody like Josh Pate is, and you're going to claim to be somebody who wants to be the commissioner of college football, the way he picked against Indiana all year dictated that in order to get back into the good graces of Indiana fans, you had to do something to make yourself look like an idiot. And so I personally appreciated the gesture from Josh Pate. Obviously, he's somebody who understands what it means to be a media personality in the college football landscape, and the fact that he was not only able to laugh at himself, but put out that he knows how many times he's going to see that Josh Pate and the clown nose picture. It's going to be a billion times, but to do that for the Indiana football fans to get back in the good graces, I personally appreciated that. I don't know if you saw it, Brad.
I did see it, and I remember seeing it live. I'm like, hey, that's why I always liked Josh Pate. Always did. Never swayed from it. I know he was critical of Indiana. He was doubtful. He wasn't quite convinced that he was still in the thinking mindset that the SEC is the SEC, right? And I think he's finally come around that, the Big Ten might be even superior to the SEC at this point, not just equal. And, I echo your sentiment. Fully appreciate him doing that. I think he has absolute class in terms of owning when he is wrong. I think he's the best in the business at that, actually. And I'll throw Brandon Walker in there too. He's the same way. Yeah. He gave Indiana some flowers, but he's not at the level. He didn't put Brandon a clown nose on.
Brandon Walker knows what he's doing. He's not as dumb as people make him out to be, and you don't go as viral. I mean, maybe you do.
Pate is a ball knower, and I respect him, and I appreciate that he did that. He admitted when he was wrong. I think more people need to do that.
I agree. Did you see who the highest graded player in the national championship was?
Was it Jamari Sharp?
No, it was the other cornerback. It was D'Angelo Pons.
There we go.
Yep. Who accepted his Senior Bowl invite. It was announced that he's not playing. Kalon Black, this is a good place to mention. Kalon Black, I know we were just talking about Pons and being the highest graded player in the national championship. And that kid, if he's not a top 40 draft pick, what the hell are we doing? Should be a first round pick. I don't run NFL teams, whatever. When you look at the NFL and you understand how incompetent 12 of the franchises are, the rest of it makes sense to look at the league. But the fact that Kalon Black is at the Senior Bowl practicing right now is utterly insane. Markel Bell too, Markel Bell got ran over in one of the drills, and the fact that dude's out there after playing a 16-game season as an offensive lineman is also insane. But shout out to Kalen Black, who's just out there proving that he wants it more than you do, and that guy's awesome. Love watching that guy play.
Yeah,
Like,
I hope it gets him a draft pick, not just because he will make a. You can't.
There's no doubt in my mind,
like, yeah, he's old, and like, yeah, he's probably gonna only play like 4 years in the league before he's probably got to hang him up. But the fact of the matter is, he deserves those 4 years in the league. He's gonna make a roster.
I'm not putting self-imposed limitations on what Kalen Black can accomplish.
I'm just saying, historically, running backs really don't age past 30, and he's 25. That's all I'm saying. It'd be insane if he played longer than that. It just doesn't happen. Like, in the NFL, like, yeah, you take hits in college. Now you're taking hits at the NFL, a grown man league. This wears on you. It's not anything he can really do about it. Yeah, he will make a roster, and I hope instead of him being undrafted free agent, him just appearing in that it makes him deserving of a 6th or a 7th round pick, which he is. He can make a roster and give you some burn as the RB3 on an NFL team for sure. No doubt in my mind.
Absolutely. But Pons getting an invite to the Senior Bowl as a true junior, unbelievably impressive. Shows you what the league thinks of him and that they want to see him compete against those guys. And I thought it was funny that everyone's favorite non-Hoosier quarterback, Diego Pavia, got officially measured at the Senior Bowl, and he was basically the same size as D'Angelo Pons.
So funny.
Absolutely insane. I want to take this time to shout out Edward Catone, who he put out like I hope that these edits have been given like 0.000, however many zeros he put in, like percent of joy. Like the edits that dude with the extended highlights he releases every week are one of the best.
I need to go back and watch a lot of them.
They are so unbelievable. I have all of them saved. Like, I use his videos constantly. The White Boy of the Year Charlie Becker video was Edward Catone. Like, he is so unbelievably talented, good at what he does. Like, the fact that he has clips for all of these things and like understands not only what the meme is, but how to use it and how to chain these things together. And it so unbelievably impressive. And the production, like, for it being a meme-esque video, the production of it, and it unbelievably impressive. And I personally, for my enjoyment and entertainment, hope he keeps doing them. But if he decided to retire it after 2020, like after this season, I'm not sure how you top this season in terms of get like the ability to dunk on people. But yeah, shout out to Edward Catone. Definitely deserves all the flowers he gets. And yeah, along with the Don Fisher recap videos and the Cuban Center team crushed that again this week. Definitely one of the like highlights of the week for sure. Yeah,
Catone is one of the best, is my favorite content creator in our IU Twitterverse. With those videos, they give me so much joy to watch after we smack around Maryland or UCLA or something like that, and all the memes that come out of it.
Actually, I think he didn't do Maryland because he felt bad, and somebody else stepped up and made one for Maryland.
That's funny. Wow. All right, I need to do my homework. But yeah, I want to go back and like rewatch those videos. That's how much I enjoy them.
Yeah, we have a lot of awesome creators on the Indiana football Twitter space. Another one, actually, funny enough, I have it written down in my notes as a bite-sized Bison stat that Nico Radicic set the single season record for highest field goal percentage in program history. Bite-sized Bison hung it up after creating content for as long as he's been doing it. I ordered my official national championship IFAP that hasn't arrived yet, obviously, because of the weather, but from B-Town Moose, who puts those together every week, and that's been unbelievably entertaining. The Kirkwood and Dunn guys, who we had on the show a couple weeks ago, have been crushing what Trent is doing with videos off both his account and the Kirkwood and Dunn account. Unbelievably impressive. Like, the Purdue Groundhogs Day one that those guys released yesterday was unbelievably hilarious. Like,
yeah,
the fact that the spotlight is now firmly on Indiana University and this fan base that didn't exist and like isn't passionate enough, it doesn't support their team, is being able to show off in the way it is. And like people like Edward Catone and people like Bite Size Bison finally getting their flowers, and people like Crimson Cast, who I thought Galen had probably the best explanation of what it's been like to be an Indiana football fan in the last 2 years. To be a part of that, like the All For You pod guys dropped today too. And like for us to be a part of that as Sigs Inside first, and that was Indiana Hoosiers Live, has been unbelievably fun. And just like again, to spotlight the creators in the Indiana football space, like they're having their fun in the sun right now, and a lot of these guys are really, really damn good at it.
They deserve it. I'm trying not to go sentimental, but like Indiana's always been at the level of like a Michigan, Ohio State, any of those SEC schools, like in terms of just being passionate for the sports that they have. Like, you ever been to an IU soccer game? It's insane. It's crazy. We show out for our sports, and it never really got highlighted because it was really like about soccer most of the time, and like basketball wasn't where it probably should be, and football obviously never was even a thought until Pam Whitten and Scott Dolson and Signetti showed up, right? And yeah, I there's not a fan base that's more deserving, more passionate, more knowledgeable about their sports, and and not only that, to top it all off, it's probably the largest in numbers. It's just the scary thing for everyone else, which is why we're going to stay good. The money's going to keep rolling in, and I think someone described it super well. Like, yeah, we have some billionaires around for sure, but I think what really helps is us having that largest alumni base. And you get 50K here, 100K there, 10K here, another 10K there. That shit adds up real quick. And having that is a huge advantage to us. And having a fan base that is passionate about the sports is big, because like you can be like, Stanford and Vanderbilt, like, are they Northwestern? Like, sure, they have rich alumni, but are they going to invest in their alma mater's athletics department as opposed to an Indiana I'm going to give UT Texas a shot. They're going to stick around because they're the same way. One of the largest alumni bases in the country, and they are just as passionate about football and basketball as we are. So definitely going to be Indiana's here to stay. We've said this over and over again, and shout out our fans.
We deserve numbers behind that, Brad, because our freshman class for Kelly was 7,000 kids, and that was the largest in school history. And then the next year's freshman class was, that was ours. And that was back in 2017. And the next year's class was bigger than that. And when I went back in 2021, I remember being in an Uber and the Uber driver telling me that Indiana wanted to increase their student population so that they pushed into like 50,000 and wanted to be one of the bigger schools in the country. And I'm thinking this guy's crazy. And now I'm watching the results of generating the largest living alumni base in the country, and the fact that everybody can, even if everybody gives $1, you know what I mean? Like, that's a significant amount. Everybody's giving $1 every month. Like, that adds up really quickly. And when you talk about just the sheer numbers of it, like, yeah, there's a lot of us, and we are very passionate and we all care. And it's funny to watch like the Notre Dame fans freak out and like call people bandwagoners, but Indiana's gaining market share. They're gaining fans. Like, you look at the reverse jackets that are flipping their jacket back inside and wearing cream and crimson, and a lot of those people are Notre Dame football fans that now have a reason to root for Indiana and aren't forced or pigeonholed into rooting for the one team in the state that was good at football. Like, there's now options, and you're seeing a lot of people drift towards the Hoosiers, and I don't think that's an accident, Brad. It's really, really fun to be an Indiana Hoosier right now.
There's something Kurt Signetti said very early on. You give a large state institution the foundation to be successful, it will, the possibilities are endless, right? It's not a large state, but it's an entire state that can get behind one school, right? And Notre Dame's more of a national brand, right? Like, I think a lot of their fans don't live in the state of Indiana, if we're going to keep it 100. So, that's our state. Notre Dame could move to a different location and it would still be the same. Wouldn't be the case for Indiana. It's our state. They just rent a place up there in South Bend. Money in our pockets for the state, right? And yeah, when it goes right towards Signetti's contract, he's the highest paid state employee.
And I like when businesses around the state give back to the university, and obviously Chipotle and Kurt Signetti, we've seen have this partnership, and they've released the Signetti Bowl, and people were freaking out like, I can't believe Signetti's Bowl, what a diabolical order. Guys, it's chicken, rice, beans with the side of guacamole. Like, I'm not even sure sorry, Chipotle, don't listen to this. I don't even think he's getting it because it's Chipotle. I literally think it's the most convenient way to get rice and beans and chicken. You know what I mean? Like, do you know you understand what I mean? It's like, find me rice and beans and chicken, and like it's got like tastes the same, and like I don't even have to think about it. But Chipotle did an awesome thing where they every single person in the state of Indiana felt like was able to show up and get buy one get one because of Signetti and the Hoosiers.
You want to know why Chipotle is good? Why Chipotle is so popular? It's not because Chipotle is like really good. Like this is
It is
sidebar about Chipotle real quick. Sidebar. Chipotle is really good, not because like obviously it's good. Like it's fine. Like it's food.
You better watch your words now.
Yeah, I love Chipotle. I eat it all the time. But the main reason why they're so successful is that it's the easiest, most convenient way to get 1,500 calories into your system, like that. In a like that's not like in an unhealthy way. That's why Chipotle is great, and that's why Cincinnati does it. It's fuel, man. That's it.
Exactly.
That simple.
I want to shout out Coach John Miller and Coach Justice Ellison. When you have 2 1,000-yard rushers on the football team, when you have 1 500-yard rusher, and Lee Beebe was going to be a massive contributor to this football team too. Look at what that running back room did this year. Those guys deserve all the flowers, and it's been cool to see them get it from the Indiana football fans because we've talked about passion, like people like Hoosier Kamish and the following he has, and like putting the spotlight on individuals on the team and coaches and things like that. But those guys in particular did an unbelievable job coaching up their room, and 2 guys that the mainstream doesn't really hear much about.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, they deserve all their flowers. 2,000-yard rushers, definitely helped by a 16-game season, but nonetheless, something that hasn't been accomplished in college football in a very long time, if my memory is correct. Yeah, a huge accomplishment. Black and Hemby will be forever remembered. But shout out Tyson Lawton and Justice Allison. They got it all started. Who will be the next great running back duo at Indiana this upcoming year? Stay tuned. Indiana Hoosiers.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. It was really cool to watch Indiana fans explain what this means, what winning a championship means to them. There was a couple that had season tickets for 60 years that couldn't even remember the date that they first had their season tickets. There was stories of families that like, oh, I'll go out to the Rose Bowl next time we make it. And then we never made it before the family member passed away, and talking about like writing letters and stuff and sharing Rose Bowl experiences. Hoosier Speaker wrote an unbelievably beautiful piece about his grandfather and his connection to Indiana football and Indiana athletics. Kobe Fleming was another one who wrote a really nice piece about his connection to the university and athletics as well. Like for a fan base that people continually say has no fans, it's been unbelievably heartwarming. I've laughed and cried a bunch of times over the last couple of weeks, like watching people explain what this means to them. And so if you haven't had the chance to go read some of those, definitely go check those out.
And we've had some sentimental spews myself on this show. Are you going to clip those or like, I don't know, what are we going to do?
I'll listen. There are no excuses. I need to go and just manually clip those. But
my rant after the Rose Bowl, I feel like deserves a clip. You know what it meant to me, and like and I feel like a lot of other. Obviously, it was different for me being a Pasadena native, but I feel like Indiana Hoosiers felt
the job search. The job search, if it doesn't kill me, will result in me getting a job. So it's been grinding, but I'll get to clipping. I promise. Upland Chipotle wasn't the only person or only business to honor Curt Cignetti. Did you see what Upland Bruco released the sickest like 2025 championship like memorial cans that I hope they ship out of state because I need a case of those. But they also gave Curt Cignetti free beer for life.
As they should. He plugs them all the time. He plugged them during his national championship presser.
He called it Hoosier beer. It's not even the name of it.
Yeah, he called out Upland Brewing Company about it. He did mention them. So shout out. He deserves a free beer for life. He only drinks 2 at a time, so it's not going to be anything crazy. He drinks 2 and he falls asleep. So, don't have to worry about don't have to worry about Sig going all sark on us. You know what I mean?
Oh, God. Come on.
If you know, you know.
Come on. Oh, Sark's he's doing well. Sark, good for Sark.
He's doing well now. The USC
apologize to Colin McMahon, Brad. Huh? People need to apologize to Colin McMahon, who went on an Indiana message board and called Indiana one of the greatest teams of all time around Christmas and caught a lot of shit for it.
Yeah,
so shout out to Colin.
The only team in the forward pass era to go 16-0. Talk to a wall. How about that?
Yep. It's being rewarded, Brad. There have been sponsorship deals out the ass for this Indiana Hoosiers team. There was the C4 Group 1 for Pons and Fisher and Surratt and Hemby. Pons himself has been racking in the deals. He had Amazon. I forget what else he was doing. He was all over the place. But the fact that national brands are starting to recognize, like Dr. Pepper has been all over the guys, and obviously Fernando was everywhere, and you couldn't go somewhere and not see Fernando Mendoza's face in the last week. I personally love that those guys are finally getting that recognition that we've been saying they deserve from the national audience for the entire season. And for 2 years, like talking about the way these guys conduct themselves, it's really cool to see this success parlay itself into mainstream recognition. So shout out to the guys.
Yeah, shouts to the guys. Yeah, I mean, couldn't get Fernando off your TV screen. He just signed that LinkedIn deal. Shout out. That was inevitable. That was so inevitable. You're going to see him on a Super Bowl commercial before you know it, doing LinkedIn like, "Hi, I'm Fernando Mendoza," type shit. And yeah, I mean, he deserves all the glory. Him, the Jimmy Fallon spot was awesome. A little scripted, typical Fernando, but good to kind of see him like be a real person, and people just understand like it's impossible to not root for this kid. And he's going to go to the Raiders, and I really hope they give him the support and the structure that he'll need to succeed, because he's super talented, and franchises, aka departments in the company that is the NFL, fail quarterbacks more than any other position. Fail quarterbacks more than quarterbacks fail them. That's the reality. And you're seeing it with Sam Darnold in the Super Bowl. That's the greatest example there is. Former Jet. Shout out your New York Jets, Keezer. Sorry about that. But
no need for that.
I'm sorry. That was a low blow. But yeah, I hope Tom Brady and company figure out a way to set up Fernando for success, and whether that means bringing in Chandler Whitmer, whether that means they don't even have a head coach yet, so they got to figure some things out and fix up that O-line, which is atrocious. And a good thing for Mendoza is that he's used to having a bad O-line back in his Cal days, so he should be up to the challenge. Could be kind of used to it. Could be a rough rookie year for him, but I will say for any Raider fans watching, be patient, wait for the structure to come. That kid with the right system is a franchise quarterback. There's no doubt in my mind he's a top 32 quarterback in the world. Just got to figure it out and set him up for success. I mean, have you seen him throw a ball? Like, have you ever seen him throw a ball and it's like not a perfect spiral? Have you ever seen it? I haven't. So
no, actually, that's a very hilarious way to put it. Every time the ball comes out of his hand, even if it's not a good throw,
that's how I knew he was Andrew Luck, man. That's how I knew. The tight spiral, he's the whole package. He's got the brains, he's got the work ethic, he's a great teammate, great leader, and he's got the physical attributes and the intangibly rich attributes that you look for in any player. He's a bona fide number one, would go number one in most drafts. Yeah, that's all I got to say on that.
I want to shout out the best damn warrior in the land, Brian P. Lawton, who was with Indiana Hoosier national champion Lewis Moore at the Shrine Bowl down in Dallas this past week. Put up a picture on Twitter, which was awesome to see those guys together. Two Hoosier legends in their own right. So shout out to the best damn warrior in the land. And I don't want to make any promises, but we will speak to him again on this platform. That'll be a prediction. I'll make a prediction. Is we'll talk to him again this offseason, and that'll be exciting.
We're gonna talk to him about IU hoops a little bit, maybe. You know what I mean?
We'll set up. We'll set up a meeting. Me and you will set up a meeting to talk about eligibility for Lamar and what we can do for these guys.
He has no case, Brian Pilon. Figure it out.
That's not for us to decide whether or not he has a case. That's for the best damn lawyer.
I'm not a lawyer.
I'm definitely not a lawyer. I'm definitely not the best damn lawyer in the land. That is Brian P. Lawton. Mm-hmm. So shout out to Brian. Signetti. I was gonna say, speaking of Brian's, Signetti won the Bear Bryant Award, Coach of the Year. He talked about winning a national championship doesn't put him in the same breath as where he wants to be as the Bear Bryants, the Nick Sabans, etc. Because those guys won multiple. But to pick up that award obviously is a really huge deal. So shout out to Kurt Signetti.
Well deserved. He's well on his way. He's got 7 more years on his current deal, so we'll see.
Which is going to get
One thing in his post-game presser that really stuck out to me, where it's like, he's getting old. Like his contract's going to be up when he's 72, I believe, which is pretty old. Pretty old to be working. But then he's like, maybe I'd retire and that could be a big story. But then he's like, what would I do? It's like, I'm like, yeah, Sig, what would you do? I don't know, man.
He just spend the whole time watching film anyway. You know what I mean? Like,
I think football AD, like a Barry Alvarez type move, like Wisconsin did.
GM, Brad. What are you talking about?
In the card, GM football AD type title.
You don't even have to go out to the field. You can just sit there and watch film the entire time
and find our guys,
and then game plan. Are you kidding me? That guy could do that until he's 900.
Yeah, exactly. And you'll be around.
Like we're gonna extend human. There's pills and stuff, Brad. Like they're Indiana University, IU Health, who jersey sponsors are now a thing in college football. That guy approved, and so like maybe we'll see IU Health on a jersey. We never know what we're spinning up and what people are engineering. So I'm not going to be like, who knows when Kurt Cignetti stops coaching. And then speaking of 7 more, Charlie Becker had 7 special teams tackles this year. I believe he led the team. And he was also the best receiver in FBS football since week 11 of the college football season. And so when I tweeted out that can we finally admit that it's disrespectful to compare Charlie Becker to Alec Pierce? A lot of people got upset and they're like, look at Alec Pierce. Like he had an unbelievable year and he's going to get $25 million. Alec Pierce is not a first round wide receiver. I'm sorry. And that's just reality. And Charlie Becker is. So
yeah. Are we going to play our first round receiver at gunner this next year?
We might.
I say it's a coin flip. Honestly, no one's sick.
D'Angelo Bonds was playing gunner. He's going to be a top 40 pick. Aiden Fisher was playing special teams. Like that dude's going to be should be a second round, third round draft pick. Like there's a reason why those guys, like we had 5 guys, I believe, that could have played at the Shrine Bowl and none of those guys are playing. And I think I'm not sure if Lewis is down there or not. But I think the reason is because especially a guy like Aiden Fisher put on tape, that guy could play linebacker in the NFL. Like that guy should not have any worries about getting drafted. Like
so many guys. We'll break down the upcoming draft class coming in for Indiana. Lots of starters on that team. Lots of day one guys. Talking Lou, talking Aiden Fisher, talking Kamara, Wyatt and Daly might even be day one starters in the league. Pons, obviously. I haven't even started on offense yet.
Oh yeah. Pons plays defense.
Yeah. So
they'll be fooled by the one catch.
Lots of good day one start.
Cooper is picking up so much buzz in the fantasy community, and these guys haven't even watched him run yet. Like the comp that he's been getting over and over again from the guys I've seen is Rashee Rice, and I think that's just so wrong in so many ways. Like he's not the zone sitter Rice is. Like he different like game feel, but he's also way more physical,
better
faster,
tackle,
way better hands, better like way 1,000 times better head on his shoulders. Like and it's funny that I'm going to say that and then compare him to this guy, but like I'm looking up like guys like, okay, who runs this fast and who is doing this and who's this big, and Brandon Ayuk is the guy who I came back to.
Oh, no. Different guys. He's more like a Debo. I know you hate that comp because the measurables aren't the same, but he plays like Debo. He does. He's a yak guy. Makes people miss, whether that's a juke or just a shedded tackle.
30% missed tackle rate or missed tackles forced for Omar Cooper, which is number 1 amongst wide receivers in the draft class.
Exactly. Yeah. Very, very Debo-esque in that regard. That's why I like the Debo comp for him.
That's fair. Well, I think if you watch Ayuk's Arizona State stuff, it's just like he was bigger and faster than everybody in the pack, and so he's
that's not Coop to me, to be honest.
But
like,
put Omar Cooper in the pack because Ayuk was clocked. Coop was clocked at 21.1 miles per hour against Kennesaw State, and I think Ayuk's top speed was like 21.9.
Okay, fair enough. Ayuk's a freak.
No, very much so. And I watched Ayuk's highlights, and I'm like, maybe not. Like, He's somewhere in between those guys, but it's like he's his own player. But to your point,
exactly.
though,
that's how you know the guy's special. He's his own guy. Like you can try if you can't comp a guy, it's probably because he's a little special. He's probably.
But Rashee Rice is not the comp for him, and he's has easily worked his way, at least in the minds of the dynasty fantasy community, into the second round of the NFL draft, which is very, very cool.
Yeah, great. So well deserving because we were talking about how Coop and Surratt were the most disrespected wide receiver duo in the offseason. And to finally see them get their flowers where they're both going to go, top 100 I will just call it conservatively top 100. Could even be top 60, top 40 for those guys. Yeah. Once again, we were right. Once again. Master of the eye test at you live.
I think the biggest catalyst for this season, Brad, that I can't believe we haven't mentioned yet is the fact that Brian Haynes' daughter, Gracie Bear, is undefeated as an Indiana Hoosiers fan. So shout out to Gracie Bear. There's a really cool, I think, write up or something about her from the Broyles Award around the national championship game, which was awesome. And obviously, like, to see the two of them together, and I believe she was even at the national championship celebration, which is insane because it was so cold there. But her relationship, like her and Brian Haynes, their relationship is incredible. And yeah, undefeated Gracie Bear.
I have a friend who has a daughter named Nalita Alvarado. She might even be watching this right now. So hi, Nalita. Hi. Shout out 27-2 as a child, as a person,
as a fan,
as an IU fan, and 2 World Series titles with the Dodgers. So keep it up. Let's go.
A lot of winning. Lots and lots of winning. Did you see the Fernando Mendoza, the Spanish call for the touchdown run?
Yeah. For Mendoza. That was the best.
Absolutely incredible.
So good, man. I actually rewatched that video multiple times. Actually, I had to pull it up. I was showing it to people. That's how in tune I was to that one.
30.1 million people watched the national championship, and again, these numbers don't include streaming. So, if you were watching it on a streaming service, that doesn't count. 30.1 million people. Indiana also played in 4 of the 10 most watched football games of the season and played in the top 2 most watched football games this year. So anybody who tells you Indiana football is not worth watching or nobody pays attention to them, just show them that graphic.
It doesn't even count for. Does it account for the people at the bars where there's like,
I think there are like metrics
for like 20, 30 people, right? Like
I don't know how Nielsen rating and like metrics like that work, but all I know is that was the most watched football game of the year.
Yeah,
for college,
as it should be. The national title game. It was the best game of the year too. It was an unreal game. Unreal football game. Had everything you ever wanted. Same with the Ohio State game. Just an unreal football game. High level stuff being played.
Seeing the guys coming off the national championship, like we talked about, getting all the recognition. Kamara himself was on Nightcap with Ocho Cinco and Shannon Sharp. He was also on Jim Rome.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he was also on Jim Rome, who does a Twitter show now. If anybody remembers, Jim Rome is burning. Or
Jim Rome. You ever seen the? Have you ever seen the? There's this Jim Everett video where he's like egging on. He's like a big critic of Jim Everett, who's like a Rams quarterback. He calls him soft all the time. He calls him like some different name, like John or something like that. Like he calls him like a different name because he's soft or something like that. And basically got this guy to fight him live on air. So if you know what I'm talking about, look up Jim Everett, Jim Rome, and you'll find what I'm talking about. Great watch. Yeah, Jim Rome and Jim Everett.
Obviously, you talked about Mendoza's appearances. He was on CBS Mornings. He was on the Tonight Show. He was on the Today Show. Max Mendoza was probably the biggest star of that entire ordeal. The fact that 13-year-old kid sat there and read the teleprompter on live television was
with some spunk to it too.
Was by far the most impressive thing I've seen a Mendoza do. And I watched Fernando do a lot of really impressive things, including win the Heisman this season. But that was unreal.
I got a hell of a media school kid come through.
I don't know if I don't even know if he needs it. And then our good friend Jamie Jordan put up the video of that guy interviewing Fernando in middle school, and you just like, it obviously wasn't polished. It was a middle school Fernando Mendoza, but the building blocks of who Fernando Mendoza is as both a person and a quarterback, you saw in that interview of young Fernando. So that was really cool for Jamie to put on the timeline.
Very cool.
Did you see any of the Indiana National Championship celebration?
Yes, I did. I watched it on Big Ten Network before my workout.
Do you know what the weather was like? Because it was
0 degrees.
It was 13, felt like 0. It was a huge recruiting day regardless, but they were supposed to have junior day that weekend, had to cancel it because of the impending snowstorm, but they still had a bunch of recruits in the class of 2027 there, a bunch of commits in the class of 2027 there. They also had Showtime sales on campus. Jahide Brown, who's an unbelievable receiver. I was texting Brad about his huddle highlights. He posted his full season highlights this past week, and
a lot of AB to him. It's all
I don't like it's tough to watch huddle highlights and try and comp a high school kid, but when you watch Jahid Brown play football,
you like watching huddles where it's like touch the ball, touchdown. That's a good sign. You watch all these NFL
and
guys,
just separation,
and like that's what their tape looks like. That's what their huddle looks like.
Freaky freak stuff.
Yeah.
But he was there, and for like the crowd was getting clowned because the stadium wasn't filled, but for the fact that it was literally 0 degrees and dangerous to be outside, I thought the crowd turnout was incredible. And obviously they had an unbelievable recruiting day. It had to be a little bit smaller, but that meant they were able to spend some more time. Quentin, is it Burrell, I believe, is the number one player or number one receiver in Illinois. He had a really good visit as well. So Indiana is building a ton of momentum. If you follow the Wilt Fong Whip Around, or if you are on message boards and are a subscriber to one of those like 24/7 on 3 type sites, there's a lot of really exciting buzz around the Indiana Hoosiers. And so like you watched it's funny, like I've had a ton of interaction with Notre Dame on the timeline. A lot of it's been like bickering and all that good stuff. But if you watch what Notre Dame was able to do coming off of losing a national championship, they added 5 of the top 32 guys in the class of 2026. And I'm not saying that Indiana is going to do that, because that's not even the recruiting philosophy of Kurt Signetti. Like, they're going after their guys. They're not going after the guys the industry likes. But Indiana won the national championship. Like, what do you think that's going to be able to do to their recruiting efforts? And they were already recruiting at a really high level, even if it wasn't being nationalized on a national stage. So, unbelievably successful. I don't care that the stadium was half filled because it was 0 degrees out. And I just like, as long as we never see the John Mellencamp force the team to sing when nobody was prepared for it ever again, I'm cool with everything that happened at the celebration.
I thought that was kind of funny, honestly. It's like, we're the national champs. We can do whatever the fuck we want, honestly. We want to butcher Hood So Good while celebrating the Natty. It's fine with me. They tried our best. Keezer, I texted you, by the way. They tried our best. The jealous losers on college football Twitter tried their best to slide our national title celebration. How many people showed up to your national title celebration? Nebraska, Michigan State, Notre Dame. How many people showed up to your national title celebration this year? Oh, no one? Because you guys haven't won a national title in the modern era? Oh, okay. All right. Just making sure. Oh, zero people showed up to your national title celebration. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. They tried their best, but when you're national champs, nothing can stop you. Nothing. They tried our best. They tried their best. Doesn't matter.
I know you're not too much of a gamer, Brad, but I do play. I do like to play college football at 26, and the fact that Fernando Mendoza is now the only 99 in the game warmed my heart.
I haven't touched in a while. I want to play the new updated roster with like 80, 88, Charlie Becker, and 93. Remember when I went on my spew and was like, these guys are underrated? I remember like Jones was a 72.
Well, they just put Bray Lynch in the game. I'm not even sure Bray Lynch is playable if you're in play now. Like, they just put him in Ultimate Team.
Unreal. I was talking more so the rosters when we broke it down, and it was like they didn't have
like Landino was playing Sam, and like
it was so weird. I hope they fixed that stuff. But
I don't think they did, but obviously for going into next year, and I hope they bring back the chance for legacy teams. I know Indiana is not going to be the only fan base that's going to want to play with like teams that they grew up watching. Like, obviously you look at these more historic fan bases, people like our age, at least, who grew up in the like watching in the mid 2000s and early 2010s, are going to want to play with those football teams they grew up watching. So I hope they put some sort of legacy type like mode in the game where we can go back and we can play with this true Indiana roster, because it's not the complete roster for 2025, and it drives me crazy. But the fact that Mendoza is a 99 does warm my heart.
Who the hell is Gillespie?
Yeah, exactly. What are we doing? What are we even doing? I want to shout out Marcy Simpson, the CFO of IU Athletics. Jeremy Gray retweeted an article that was a nice write-up on her. She did an amazing job, obviously. Look at where Indiana is as a university and an athletics program. So shout out to Marcy. Also shout out to Hoosier Edits on TikTok. Hoosier Commish posted his TikTok, but he created like I Did It My Way, I believe it was, the Frank Sinatra esque, like here's where we were and here's where we ended up now. He's at Sig Signetti fan on Twitter, or Sig Signetti enjoyer. So if you're on Twitter, go give him a follow, shout him out. That was awesome stuff. Mike Weymouth of X's and Joe's pod also tweeted out that the IU Purdue rivalry is now the most lopsided ever in terms of national championships. Indiana has a national championship in football and multiple national championships in basketball. Obviously, Purdue, no national championships.
I saw it was the only rivalry to where one team has a national title in both football and basketball, and the other team has 0 in either.
Yep, that was the stat.
That is as little brother as it gets. Hey, little bro, if you guys are watching, hate watching right now, hi. Good to see you. Make sure you do your homework and listen to your mom, all right?
And then, obviously, Brad, Bison Drop. If you're not familiar with Bison Drop, go to the website, check them out on Twitter. They're doing a lot of really cool stuff. The social drop this week is a game-used water bottle. So if you want to go try and win the social drop, check it out. But what they're doing for an auction is they're auctioning off Curt Cignetti's game-worn headset from the national championship. My freshman roommate and one of our other buddies put in a bid. Their bid got completely not even in the same stratosphere of where the bid is.
Are we talking about the headset right now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't put in a legit bid. Like they put in. Like
I got the headset.
The auction's still open. And the last time I saw it was at like 11.5K, and I'm assuming, and that was yesterday.
Yeah, so. I wouldn't spend my money on that type of stuff. You know that. I'd rather go to the net. I'm going to spend 11K. I'm going to the national title game. What are we talking about here?
But some lucky Hoosier fan's going to end up with Curt Cignetti's headset from the national championship game. The decision to go for it on 4th down, like all of the calls, just conversations, all that good stuff, like the piece of history. He wore that in the game, and now you get to take that home. That's unbelievable.